Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the relaxed retreatee herself, Sandy Reevy.
Retreatee, hello. Happy to be here from Greece.
It is episode 199, May 16th. Let's get right into it. And a quick disclaimer, you may hear a little bit of background noise throughout this episode from Sandy's end. So, in the transits, we have Wednesday, May 18th, Mars conjunct Neptune.
Yeah, boundless energy.
Thursday, May 19th, Sun trine Pluto.
Take on a challenge.
Thursday, May 19th, Mercury retrograde sextile Jupiter.
A philosophical outlook.
Friday, May 20th, Sun ingress Gemini.
Happy birthday, twins. Be your multiple selves.
Saturday, May 21st, Sun Cazimi Mercury.
It is the inferior Cazimi.
And Sunday, May 22nd, Mars sextile Pluto.
Deepen your direction.
And Mercury retrograde ingress Taurus.
Returns with not much dignity.
Then in our house, we have a very special guest, Stuart Bishop, the yogi and retreat host that is hosting Sandy in Greece. So tune in to hear more about this retreat and what's been going on.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, relaxed retreatee. You got some sun. You've got, a glow about you, probably from all the delicious food and amazing sights that you've been seeing.
The oil. It's the oil. It's the pressed oil. I've been in Greece for about a week now, although we just got to our retreat location yesterday. So this is our first full day on Amargos Island. It's about an 8.5-hour ferry ride from Athens. Ooh. And I'm looking forward to having you join me one day, Alex, and everybody that's listening.
Yes. I mean, I've never been to Greece. I've just even seeing little snippets about your trip so far. It's a definite yes. Let's just go with that.
And I'm setting up my next, our next annual international retreat.
Yes. So I also want to go direct to all of our listeners and remind you that I am still really hoping and loving all of your reviews coming through. And I have a very special one. We've discussed on this podcast our new intro song from Satsang, and we got a shout out on Instagram from Satsang themselves. Letting all of their followers know that we are using their song, The Story of You.
Mm-hmm.
And really, really cool. The support feels incredible. It feels very special.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't know that was going to be something that they were even interested in doing. The fact that, of course, we've been interested in their music and in their messages that they have been providing me personally, and following them. I've followed them at several points around the United States globe. I have not seen them anywhere internationally yet. We love their music, and we wanted that to be our intro and outro song. Right. And they've made a special announcement on their side, on their Instagram. So
right. And
thank you.
And any of the new listeners coming over from Satsang, welcome to our podcast. This is a little run through of how everything works. We are a mother-daughter duo. We work together. We hand sculpt astrological talismans and do retreats around the world, as well as workshops virtually. And this podcast is a way for us to really share that sage information from what is going on astrologically. So keep on listening, give us your feedback and your reviews. We would love to see those. So let's go into the transits.
Yes.
Let's begin with Wednesday, May 18th, Mars conjunct Neptune.
Right. This happens at 1:33 a.m. in the middle of the night. This is a boundless energy. Mars, in Pisces. Actually, it's really good for night chart people. Mars is in triplicity in a water sign here. So, Mars has this direct in its advance. So you know where you're headed. Otherwise, it could be too haywire. So when you have this boundless energy focused to a point, having a direction on Wednesday really will help you kind of manage things better, because there's going to be no stopping it. It's boundless energy. But, if you don't know where you're going, you could be muddied, you can be confused, you can be a little unsure, or you could have a little, lack of
Direction.
Lack of direction. Yeah, because it's in Pisces, meeting up with the modern ruler of Pisces. So, don't let things go haywire. Set your sight into one particular area. Okay. So, and this is an ego, no ego position because it's Pisces. So Mars likes to be driven into a specific outlet. Maybe this is it's a Wednesday, so maybe it's hump day. Maybe, you take the day off, something that is like, it's not about what I do, it's, who I am. Mm-hmm. Because this might be a day that you do go to the water, you go to the beach, make sure you drink lots of fluid on this day and have it not be alcoholic beverages, maybe, right?
Right.
And watch your direction if you're drinking. So you don't.
Right. That's that downfall of Neptune and Pisces and, going into escapism or, overindulgences. So yes, I think that you hit it on the head with that, like keeping a focus, keeping a direction and, following.
Knowing what you're doing, knowing where you're going. And if you don't, chill the hell out. Yeah.
So let's move on to Thursday, May 19th. We have 2 transits this day. Sun trine Pluto is first.
Yeah, this happens in the morning, 7 a.m. Take on a challenge. Be motivated to win this challenge because you can claim victory here. The sun is in Taurus and it's making a trine. We very easy drop in your lap energy to the Pluto. And we know Pluto is retrograde, which he does all the time. And this is at 28 degrees of this earth sign. So, sun says, let's move forward. Let's be sure-footed on what it is we can do so that we can have this, Wednesday is no ego, Thursday's ego, right? Mm-hmm. So it kind of puts it into a more of a transformational space.
Yeah.
So you can take on a challenge.
I like this. Even if the challenge is big, if it's a big mountain that you have been like hesitating to start climbing, just taking that first step is all that there's a bunch of first steps to take. And then you'll be like kind of conquering that challenge bit by bit. And there was something that I saw not too long ago where one person's philosophy about life is just to learn how to get out of bed every morning when you don't want to, and just overcoming that tiny little hurdle, those tiny little hurdles of just just getting out of bed, the tiny little hurdle of getting on your running shoes, that tiny little instead of trying to take down the mountain all in one step. It's just about taking those quick and easy strides of victories that you can, encourage yourself along the way. Yeah. Wasn't that great? Okay. So the second transit of that Thursday, May 19th is Mercury retrograde sextile Jupiter. So break this down for us.
Yeah, this is at 8:30 in the evening. This I called a philosophical outlook. It's, we had the first time, the end of April 27th to be exact, when Mercury was in Taurus, making a sextile to Jupiter in Pisces. Is a little bit different now because, nice words of gratitude. Is there something that we need to maybe something that occurred at the end of April that we need to mea culpa? Is there something we need to apologize for? Is there something that we need to say, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Did you take it that way? I didn't mean that. So something about, I just keep saying nice words of gratitude. It's something that we have to look at, a relook, it's Mercury retrograde, a relook, a way of different circumstances. Now we have to look at it differently with these two planets now, because Mercury is in domicile and Jupiter is out of domicile. When they first met, Mercury was not in domicile. He was in Taurus. And Jupiter was in his domicile in Pisces. So they've traded spots. And so there's this retreading over the last few weeks of whatever course of action. A deeper thought is required. You got to really rethink maybe something that has been occurring in the last, say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, period. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you still don't have to come up with a decision right now, because Mercury will come back in sextile Jupiter again. Yeah. Okay. Not until like mid-June.
And Friday, May 20th, Sun ingress Gemini. Happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. Happy birthday, twins.
Happy birthday, twins. Be your multiple selves. You're the sign that gets most of the energy at the end of the year when Mars retrogrades through the sign. So what shall you get into place? What do you need to put into order? It's like setting up your dominoes. So that you can maybe complete this before the end of October, so that, your one thing doesn't hit before you're completed and knock all the plans down. So that hoping you can focus on one or two, because Gemini likes multiples. It's a air mutable sign. So it likes to focus on multiple things, but, maybe you can juggle.
Right. Or tether it in.
Yeah. But make sure that you have enough energy to, use both hands, both sides of your brain, use both shoulders. You can carry more than you can use both muscles, all muscles on both sides of your body.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's move on to Saturday, May 21st, Sun Cazimi Mercury.
Yeah, the sun always does a Cazimi, or Mercury always goes into the heart of the sun. This happens at 2:18 p.m. This is all Chicago time, not Greece time. And actually, did I tell you I'm doing a Greece podcast? I was asked to do a podcast in Greece here.
Yeah.
It was Zephy. Yeah. But anyway, our podcast here, this clarity in this, Cazimi period where everything is clear and calm. Again, with these multiple triplicities of ability in its own sign at 0 degrees of this Gemini. So this is from 9:52 a.m. on Saturday, the 21st, until 6:52 p.m. So it's around 10 in the morning to just before 7 p.m. So that's a good, 6, 7, 8 hours of Cazimi where you can really download good information.
Mm-hmm.
Good information. You're not going to do anything yet, but you're going to come up with some new brainiac ideas.
The neurons
a lot of them.
Firing.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up the week with 2 last transits on Sunday, May 22nd. Mars sextile Pluto is first.
Yeah, deepen your direction. Mars, again, Mars is here at the second last degree, 28 degrees of Pisces. Sextile says take the opportunity to meet up with this Pluto. So deepen your direction for now. A good direction that has a strong potential to make a positive thrust of your action. A part needs to be discarded. Pluto likes to remove things or chip away something that is no longer needed. So, as you move forward on this day, or what it is that you need to accomplish, maybe you don't need to do it all, or maybe you need to come up with, less. Less is more in some aspects. But you can have this really good focus because Mars is with Pluto, right? So it's like, yeah, let's get to the bottom of something, right? But something gets discarded or something gets removed. So maybe that's the purpose of what you're doing today on Sunday, the 22nd.
Yeah. And even some of those obstacles, can at least get a little bit.
It's a positive push
over. Right.
Yeah. It's a positive push day. So maybe you're in the garden, just getting, discarded of weeds or pruning, or dividing, perennials or something. Just, it's like, let's get to the root of the matter and not this stuff on the outside, or actually even in the inside. Yeah.
Yeah. And a reevaluation, because I think, a lot of this week with Mercury coming in here, it is, kind of taking a step back and really reevaluating, which moves us into the final transit of the week, Mercury retrograde ingress Taurus.
Yeah. So Mercury is moving back from his own sign of Gemini, moving back into Taurus, where he doesn't have much dignity. So, he's been here before. He was here in an April period, and he has a less important stance. He needs, we need to rediscover what's on the ground. Again, it's Taurus, so it's a fixed earth. So we need to kind of rediscover what can be done, or what has already been proven to be done, that we can improve or correct or repair. Because it reminds me of setting up the pins, in like the old fashioned way, when we would bowl, literally there was a man there setting up the pins.
Wow.
So that was grounded, so that and you can take some time here. You can take a 2 weeks, because this is, Mercury will stay here and, be in retrograde for part of the time, and then station forward here in Taurus. So take your time setting up the pins, and are they in the right place, and be precise about it, because maybe something got knocked down and you need to set them back up. Yeah.
Got it. So let's move into talisman times. You have none finished up. However, there are 2 special ones coming. The first is Tuesday, May 17th, to increase financial income.
I achieve with ease and grace increased funds. My income grows exponentially, and I thank Jupiter and Venus being in this special arena for me. Now, this is coming up over the ascendant is Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in the second house of money, along with Venus. Venus is also in Aries, and of course, this is a night chart. I'm making this in Amargos Island in Greece. I'll be making this at 1:30 in the morning. And so this is about Jupiter, the 2 benefics of bringing in more second house money, possessions, income, finances.
Yes.
So it's a nice one.
And maybe I should take a step back here too, pull a little Mercury retrograde on all of our listeners, and just remind everyone that Sandy is an astrological talisman maker. When we talk about the talisman times, these are dates that Sandy has been looking forward to, and has set out the time, carved out her schedule to create a bracelet talisman at that moment. All of these are on our website. They come in different colors, in different styles, and it is a personal talisman, a personal art object that has meaning and purpose, and helps inspire us to focus on what it is that we want and keep making those incremental steps along the way.
Nicely put.
Thank you. The affirmations are the ones that we can help speak to ourselves in a kind and focused way, where we can really center and realign ourselves with what our intention truly is. And then this bracelet acts as that reminder constantly on your wrist, or, where
it helps you
working at.
manifest. Yeah. It aids you to manifest what its power aligns with in the sky. Yeah.
So let's move on to the next talisman, which is Wednesday, May 18th, to adhere to my self-controlled plans and my own authority.
I do the hard work and hold myself accountable for my body, my health, and my routine. I am rewarded. It is so worth it. This is Saturn in Aquarius coming up over the horizon, with the moon making a really nice sextile aspect from the 10th house, which is an angle house. And so the moon is allowing this energy to come down to Saturnian qualities of, being the expert in something and being held accountable for what you say you're going to do. But it has to do with moon.
Absolutely.
The moon is in Sagittarius here, and the moon is what is the body. Moon is the ruler of the 6th here. It's Cancer ruling the 6th, which is ruled by the moon. So that's why it's the 6th. It's the health. It's your routine. It's your hygiene. It is what you're doing to assist your body for optimal health. And you get rewarded, right? Because you're willing to do the work. Saturn says, hey, you don't get anything for free. It's going to have to cost some sort of focused energy. And that's a really nice time to adhere to your self-controlled plans in your own authority. I really like this one. Again, this is at like 12:46 in the morning for me here in Greece. So yeah, I did not pack my oven. It was like, I'm not packing my oven. So I've got a message to the chef to see if I can use their oven to harden it. And because, of course, I haven't made them yet. If they come back and they thought there was no problem, but if there is a problem, I won't be making them because I can't bring them back raw.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens there. And then everybody, don't forget that the talisman of the month this month in May is to strengthen the mind and clarify the message. All of our talismans of the month that we bring forth to you are specially priced. These are discounted and you get a shipping credit. So if that is something that is speaking to you, go ahead, click that link in the description. So let's move on to the horizon. I know that you have a very clear view of the horizon there in Amargos Island. The mountains are gorgeous. The sea is phenomenal. And we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about that in our house. So
I just also remind you that, and I didn't know this until we arrived here, that the sea here is so blue. And somebody in the little shuttle bus, well, not the big shuttle going over these mountains to get to the other side of the island. It's a very small island. They say 2,000 people live here.
Wow.
Yeah. Is where they filmed. Well, they filmed Deep Blue, the movie.
I don't think I know it.
I bet you do. I remember seeing it, 20-ish years ago. It was like a love story of two young lovebirds who met in the cove. And so you should maybe watch that. That might be interesting. That is on Margos. It was filmed
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to remind our listeners about the things that we have coming up on the horizon. These are events. These are things that, we are very much looking forward to. So we have our June astrology forecast. This is a free event that happens on Facebook Live with Sandy and her fellow astrologer, Susan Goodell. Sandy takes on the astrology dates from her perspective of love, passion, work. And then also Susan will look at it from a more financial astrology perspective, which is always very interesting. Click on that link. That is happening June 4th at 10 a.m. Central.
We go on to the next thing. How can we put a video on, can we put a video or a picture or something on our email that we send out for our podcast?
We can do a picture.
A picture.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a picture and get it to you. Will you put it on?
Yes.
So everybody can scroll down. Okay, good. Go on. Sorry.
So also, we are hosting our summer solstice constellation bracelet workshop that's happening June 1st to July 13th. Those emails are coming out this week. So if you are interested in joining this small, intimate group to create your 100% talisman every single meeting, learning more about your chart, really engaging in the energy of this month and a half long process, click that link. And also we have our early bird for the 2023 Mexico retreat, and soon to be our early bird for maybe the 2023-2024 Greece retreat. Hello. Okay, so let's move into our house. And I am so excited to hear all about Greece. And we, again, have our favorite yoga retreater, Stu, joining us today on the podcast. And so thank you so much for joining and coming and chatting about everything that's going on.
Well, thank you for, including me in the podcast. And thank you, Sandy, for being in Greece with me. This is awesome.
Stuart Bishop. Oh my gosh. This is his very first international retreat, and he has hit it out of the park so far that we keep running around the bases, laughing and enjoying every single stop we have made. And we haven't even been here 24 hours.
Wow.
Right?
Thank you. That's wow.
He's hit it so far out of the park that they've just given up looking for the ball. And so we're having so much fun. Literally, say what you just said that I didn't know.
Oh, what was that?
About our group.
Oh, right. So we were just walking back from lunch, and the guy who was just in Chicago.
Oh yeah, my Chicago boyfriend. Yeah.
Okay, that's another story.
Kidding.
That's for later in our house, I guess. Anyway,
that's the nighttime house.
The manager, he was like, "You all are still smiling," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you've been here for like a whole day already, and you're still smiling. Your group hasn't stopped smiling." And I was like, "No, and we'll be here for a few more days, and we'll still be smiling." And he was like, "I love it." He's like, "This is great. I've never seen a group so happy."
It really is, every single one of us. And Alex, we've done international retreats, and you get, I'm coming, I'm going to join. Some people put their money down and plan, and then at the last minute, something comes up and they can't go. And, us two Pisces, we got a third Pisces here, Alex.
I know. How awesome.
Stuart is a Pisces. And, we can get our feelings like, is it me? Is it personal? Is it something I said? I've done anything? But we have learned, and he's learning now that, the retreat does not start until you land where you are headed, till you're on the property. And that sets the magical moment for camaraderie and getting together in the perfect group of people that you have accumulated, at the end of all of the add-ons and subtractions and maybes and all, end up being this really nice gelled combination that was going to work better than those maybe first people that were going to join.
And better than you could have ever imagined, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been really incredible. I mean, just the mesh of people, and like we have people from all walks of life here on this retreat right now, and but the group is so cohesive and like supportive of one another, and that is like incredible to witness.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I think it's how I'm, because I'm one of 3 Leo risings here.
Ooh.
And so remember, Alex, what was it? Let me just hold back a second.
Well, let's actually start from the very beginning. And
what was my thought? What was I going to not tell people I was?
I know. We're going to get to that. I promise.
Okay.
So Stu, I wanted to ask you, like, what was your inspiration? Like, why Greece? Why Amargos Island? And
can I just correct you? Amargos.
Amagos
Yeah.
Island.
Yes.
Thank you for correcting me. And yeah, tell me a little bit about like what was the inspiration behind this retreat?
Yeah, so I actually came on a retreat here a few years ago with my Ashtanga teacher, Krista Shirley, and I fell in love with the island, like just the way that it made me feel, and understanding like how connected the people who live on this island are to the land and the island and the water itself. You know, they are, it's just beautiful. And on top of that, the Greek salad, you'll never have a better Greek salad in your life. And that's enough reason to come here.
And should I just say the multitudes and multiplicities of dishes because they serve family style here.
Mm-hmm.
And you get, I don't know, today for lunch, which is served at 2:00, I think by the 5th dish that came to our table, we thought that was the end, and there were 2 more dishes beyond that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's like, what? There's more? Like we're already.
No one is hungry.
No one will be hungry on this trip. That is for sure.
And it's fresh vegetables and
it just feels good.
Yeah. And I'm taking a cooking class. Are you taking the cooking class? I am.
Taking the cooking class.
I'm taking a cooking class provided by the owner of our hotel, which I'm going to let Stu say the name of because I haven't perfected it yet. But she's doing a cooking class one day and then pairing it with a wine tasting. And you know I'm all about that, so I'm going to sign up for that. So say the name of our hotel.
Aigiali Hotel and Resort. Or Hotel and Spa. Let me do it.
Does that mean anything in particular or? Okay.
You know, I've asked many people and they've all said no.
Okay.
They're like, it's just where we are. And I was like, oh, okay.
It is the hotel. It means the hotel.
Yeah, it's this. Well, you said it's a yoga retreat resort.
Right. It's a retreat resort. So, you know, they cover your meals and everything for you. And there's optional excursions that you can take. But like the yogashalas are just gorgeous. And every single one of them has a beautiful view. And even practicing on the rooftop, like, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe I get some insight into really what we're doing here. And I promise not to tell anybody, because Stuart's been pretty much like allowing us to, you know, Alex, you and I, like, we set up Zoom calls before the retreat. We get everybody together beforehand. Stu has taken this like approach of, you said you were coming, and that's what I expect, but there are no other expectations. Right. Mm-hmm. So you're going to do you. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's not like a set itinerary. I mean, it's 6 pages long, kind of like, we expect people to go to the 6 o'clock this, the 12:15 that, the 11:45 that. And he really has given us this open space to even just like the ferry ride, not really expecting what number boat we're like. Right. We were in the moment of the experience.
I love that. And I think just because from my end, you blanked out there for a second from the connection, but I just wanted to like kind of like catch it up if our listeners also heard that little bit of silence. But so Stu has been really like preparing this itinerary, this thing in more of like a secret way, so that everyone can just like be arriving and not necessarily be expecting and anticipating and be kind of in that like, oh, I need to be here at this specific time and I need to do this and I need to pack that. So that is really beautiful. I love that.
That's the whole purpose of this retreat was for me. You know, I wanted people to stop doing and start being. Yeah. And that's something I feel like I'm really good at most of the time. And I feel like I don't, I know my human design is manifestor, and I know my energy ebbs and flows, and I know when I'm feeling like I can ramp up and just go, and when I feel like I need to take time for myself. And I probably take a lot more time for myself than most people. And but in taking that time for myself, I'm able to witness what's happening in the world, and I'm able to see like with a broader lens, and I can see how many people are not taking that time for themselves. And so this is something I felt like was necessary and also very unique and special. And to be able to show up and not know, what am I supposed to do today? Like, what is on the schedule for today? Like, oh, there is no schedule. If I'm hungry, I can have a meal. If I'm not hungry, then I'm not going to go to that meal. Like,
very, very freeing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the epitome of freedom. There, you're not, and I think, just even being an entrepreneur and, having lots of like social plans too, I can tend to be a little bit of a slave to my schedule.
Right.
And that's what I really like that you're doing here, is that there is no schedule. You get to create this schedule and how it's going to best suit you.
Yeah. And I mean, so our first day, full day here today is a rest day for everyone. Like, it's a free day, do whatever you want. Like, we had a little info session on the excursions, but aside from that and meals, like, they have the whole day to either sleep in or go to the beach or go to the pool or whatever massages. They want to do. Like, half of them have gone to the spa and had massages. Ooh. So it's just been like the relaxation that people feel coming into this is the tone that I want to carry through this, know? And so starting tomorrow, we'll have, daily classes in the morning, but we're also going to do a day where we go on a tour of the whole island.
A monastery. I'm so excited for that.
And on top of that, I'll be doing like little workshops. Those I'm keeping completely secret, not telling anyone what's going on in there. And,
although I saw Kevin super excited about something.
I don't know what he's super excited about.
He said, "Are you going to incorporate da 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 da?"
Oh, yeah.
And you very sheepishly leaned back in your chair and nodded your head just like 2 times. And he turned to the group and said, "Oh, I'm so excited."
Okay.
Well, I caught
no spoilers.
Well, I'll let that cat out of the bag since you called me out on that. But he asked me, are you going to be incorporating IFS stuff into this? IFS being internal family systems, which is the therapy modality that he uses as a therapist. And it's basically a lot of healing your inner child or your inner children, more specifically, because it's like every moment where you felt like some sort of hurt or pain or had some sort of experience like that, you freeze that child in time, right? And then that you carry them all with you throughout your life. And sometimes we forget about them and then they get upset, and that's why we lash out. And so going back to greet those children and let them know, like,
grease those children.
Grease those children.
Let's greet them. I like greet.
Yeah, you're here and you're going to protect them and keep them safe. Allows them to relax their own defenses, your own defenses that you've created.
What day is that?
All of them.
Oh, God.
That's a daily practice for everyone.
It is. Yeah. But my hope is that it will become a daily practice for everyone.
And I mean, it's pretty funny that, we come in, we're these little baby infants, we're growing up into, intermediate space in between us being like officially an adult one day. But this child has been like our identity for so long. And it's been so malleable and so innocent and so pure. And within the world, we know how, that goes.
Right.
And, so it's like, it's, of course, everyone has these still pieces of our identity and our being that are so pure and innocent and still looking and needing these things, just the basic things.
Yeah.
So I love
The
that.
wound
I'm
of
so
that
excited.
too, right? Yeah. So I wonder, and I'm the oldest one here. And Alex, you'll think this is hilarious.
Yeah.
So Stuart, guess who he's here with, other than his partner? But we love mom-daughter stuff.
Yeah.
He's here with his mother.
Oh, I love that too.
So is
she joining? Is she like joining in on the retreat, or is she like?
Yeah, no, she signed up for it. Like as soon as I told her I was taking a retreat to Greece, she was like, "Sign me up. I want to go."
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
I love that.
You've hit it off. She is hilarious. I've enjoyed every conversation. She made it a point last night, because I just met her yesterday, that we are exactly 9 months apart.
Oh, you and her?
Yeah.
You're barely the oldest one. Okay. You make it sound like there are actual children in this retreat with you. We're like greeting these little children.
Well, we're going to meet the children over the week.
Just your inner children.
Yeah.
I wonder the older we have, if we have more children. We've had more time to develop more a 30-year-old child and a 40-year-old child and a 50-year-old child. We'll see. I'm excited to learn. I've not done any kind of work like that. So I'm super excited. But it's so interesting to watch, mom-child connections. And it's just really cool to watch. I like it.
And so I guess I have a last question.
Yeah.
Is Stu, what do you hope at the end of this retreat? What are you looking for? What are you hoping for your group? And also same question for you, Mom. What are you hoping to gain from this experience?
Start with her.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So you'll find this interesting. And it had to do with his mom. So yesterday we were all like, let's get hooked up to our rooms and then meet for lunch at 2:00, or actually it was 3:30 by the time we kind of met for lunch yesterday, because we had just come off this 8-hour ferry ride, which was super simple. I thought it was going to be way harder and longer than that. Super cool. We went to Santorini along with a couple other islands. We didn't get off, but we actually saw it.
But we went.
And so it's like, well, dinner's at 8. There's a cocktail hour. Well, there was no cocktail hour. And somebody, maybe me, said, should we meet at 7? So your mom was like, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we meet down here and we go to the bar. Nobody's down here but she and I. We go to the bar and they're asking us, because alcoholic beverages are not included, of course, just like ours. And so I ordered this drink and she orders hers and she gives her name and her room. And they said, your name and your room. And I said, Sandra. And so she turns to me and says, Sandra, is that what you want to be called? Because, for the first couple hours, everybody was calling me Sandy when we introduced ourselves. And I said, yeah, I tried Sandra once and it didn't work. Remember when I tried that and put it on all my business cards and I couldn't make it work. So she is 110% engaged in that and calls me Sandra often. More often than you would call anybody else.
To reinforce it for everyone else, which I was like, I thought that she was making a mistake. And so I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, you keep calling Sandy Sandra. And she was like, no, she told me that that's what she would like to be called. And I was like, all right, then my bad. Carry on.
Oh, that's cool. Kind of creating that identity.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm here because I kind of lost myself. I became robotic, wake up, read, go to bed, wake up, read. And it just became really kind of robotic for me. And I was like lost Sandy, I lost who I was. And so that renaming myself in that moment, your mom hooking on to that, really, it makes me want to cry right now, because that's what my dad named me. He named me Sandra. He didn't name me Sandy, right? And, you know, I'm such a daddy's girl and lost, you know, my dad 3 years ago. So it's been feeling really good. So I've been giving my name a lot to the bartender, I guess. That's what I'm doing. So that is to find myself again, you know, maybe find that inner child.
Maybe that's the inner child that you're working on this week.
Can we say shit on my podcast?
No, not normally, but that's fine.
I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. And this is another thing for me, you know, for me to have spent time away from not a non-work connection, is, you know, being in attendance, you know, Faith Hunter's here in attendance. You know, she's usually out and about the world running, you know, an event or a thing or a book signing or something. So really proud of Stuart for us to be, I mean, me specifically, to be engaged with like people, women. And we got Kevin, which is a riot. Oh my God, he's a Leo rising as well.
Kevin is my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just, we had 2 tables for dinner last night, 5 and 5. And we're like, no, we don't want to be separated. So they mushed us all together in one table. We don't want to be separated. We really want to be connected. And there's no like rough spots, you know, in the people. Now, you know, I was asking Stu about, you know, day 4. He hasn't experienced.
You heard about day 4.
Yeah, she told me about the day 4.
Yeah, day 4 is the sandpaper day. But
love that.
But Mom, remember I asked you a question. So what do you want?
Mercury's in Pisces too.
Well, and that's good. I'm here reminding you.
Okay. So
what do you want? What are you going to get out of it?
Yeah, I want to be basic. I want to just be a person. I want to be a person. I don't want to be a title. I don't want to be a thing. I want to feel connected on multiple levels, with multiple people in multiple subjects. And so I wanted to really take a back
step
seat. Yeah. And what did I say I was not going to, what was the very first thing I was not going to do the entire time?
You in traveling to Greece, and I've noticed this, and this was something that I volunteered, you know, when we were talking about your trip. I said, you know, maybe don't off the bat tell people that you're an astrologer, because that is always, you know, like kind of like your first entry into people, because it is a lot of your identity. And when we were discussing before you left, I said, you know, maybe let people learn who Sandy Reevy is, regardless of, you know, if they find out later that you're an astrologer, it's going to be, you know, even more exciting, but let them know and see who you really are before that.
And guess what?
What?
It didn't work.
Oh.
Don't worry. Don't worry, because we're going to introduce Sandy Reevy to Sandra Reevy this week.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Phil. You really need
And
that's who really needs to get to know you.
I kind of think that is really interesting.
Yay. Thank you, Stu. This is where she, you know, and everyone like kind of like needs their own astrologer, right? Like even astrologers, we say like even astrologers need their own astrologer.
Right.
But even retreaters need their own
retreats. Yeah.
Because you can't keep facilitating and you can't keep, you know, doing so much for so many others and forget that you also need these intrinsic things too.
Absolutely. Like you can't fill in like a cup that if yours is empty, you know?
Right.
So
So Stu, now on to you.
Right. Yeah. So my goal is for everyone to leave here feeling lighter, despite the massive amounts of food that we are eating. Like energetically, they are going to feel, I hope, much, much lighter than when they got here.
Yeah. And I think too grounded, right? Because we're eating all of the natural herbs and oils and food that is grown right here and is, indigenous to their culture and, which is coming from the earth and the sea. So, and, made with love, you can feel it. Oh my gosh, Greek, everyone's so hospitable. So hospitable.
That's really, so good to hear.
It's really, really great.
And so I think that like Stu and I have like a very like awesome master plan behind this, because when Stu and I were talking, I want to say like 8 months ago, was that like already 8 months ago? We were talking on a Zoom call and I was, we were like kind of like wrapping up and I was like, oh, like tell me more about like what are you doing? And he's like, I'm planning this international retreat. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds great. Where are you going? And he's like, Greece. And as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, I think my mom needs to go on this retreat with you. And that was how that we planted that seed. And and here we are. It's grown into a full on olive tree. And and I'm so excited for what's to come this week for you both and for all of the retreaters. I think it's very magical.
Yeah, it's just again, the group is just so incredible and supportive of each other, which is like, I didn't want anyone coming in here being concerned about like anyone but themselves, right? But it's the level of connection that has grown from that, because everyone is like, yeah, I'm gonna show up for myself, but because I know that I have the time, the space, and the freedom to show up for myself, I can be here for you. So the sense of community that is growing,
goosebumps.
Like I have saying, we both just like, oh wow.
Oh, that's so good. I love the way that you phrase that. I
did too. Really I mean, I felt that the fact that you said time and space, like I'm here for me, but what can I do for you? Let's, if I ask you, how was your massage or how did that go? Or, did you like that meal? And then it comes like, yes, I did. But what about you? Like you get to actually share. And that's how you get to know more about yourself too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from like all of the things that are appropriating yoga these days in Western culture, like I made the active decision to stop using Namaste at the end of my class, not because I'm unaware and not like what it means, like not because I'm unaware of what it means, but it's like I just feel like that's something that someone else may view as appropriative, even though I've studied deeply in the practice. But like I decided to cut that from my my end of class spiel, right? And instead I say, thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with me and with each other. And so the time, space, and energy has been the three components that I feel like really have stuck with me in terms of like points of focus in practice. And
those are very important fuel gauges that we all need to, keep an eye on.
And you can't buy that. It's a resource that you have to, mine, cultivate, harvest.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited. And I know we like maybe talked a little bit longer than what we were expecting to, but I am so excited that we did. And
it's so funny. I actually told her, I was like,
we were at the pool.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I feel myself again, talking, bringing up another story. Oh, did anybody hear this? Oh, what's this one? I'm like talking too much and I have to like backwards pedal. This is not my retreat.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so I'd say, like, Stu was laying next to me at the pool. Well, your mom was for a while.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I have another story." And I said, "Oh, never mind," or something. And then Stu said,
I was like, you don't have to feel shame around talking too much here. Like, if you want to talk and you have something to say, then by all means say it. Like, Alex isn't gonna wrap you up this week. Like, she's not here. Like, she's not gonna tell you to stop talking. You're not on a podcast.
Except when you're on the podcast. And
right. And then I was like, then boom, here we are on the podcast.
Yep. And if you can't tell, here I am. Let us wrap this episode up. Thank you, everybody, for listening in and tuning in. We thank you so much for listening and all of your feedback and your reviews. Thank you. Really, it is our soul food. So remember to email me, alex@intentionbeats.com, if you have any type of feedback. And we will see you next week, everybody.
Namas.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story